Well, welcome in to the Walther Center. We're excited for tonight's game between the Navajo Tech University Skyhawks and your West Coast Baptist College Eagles. I'm excited to be joined tonight by Blake. Could have taken a did not play rest designation tonight. This is his fourth call of the week, but pumped to have you here, Blake. As you're looking at the Eagles side of things, looking to try to bounce back from what was a fairly close game on last night, only a 9-point margin, and had some chances even in the waning moments, but a pretty rough shooting game, just a little less effective in some ways than we might have hoped. What are you looking for from the Eagles side of things tonight?
Well, as you said, it's just going to require a bounce back. Credit to Justice College last night. They were able to find a way at the half to shut down some of the playmakers, and namely Braxton Bosher and Ethan Delaney just weren't able to get a lot of high-quality looks. They also found a consistent answer for Jordan Bateman throughout the game. Now, with that, the bounce back is going to require a step up from either those players that were shut down or maybe some of the players that were successful earlier on in that game. Namely, Wesley Carnes. He played a lot that last game, 37 of the 40 minutes, and chalked up 27 points, really benefiting off of the attention that Braxton was demanding out of Justice College. It's going to be something to keep an eye on. Wesley has been having a great homestand, a great week, really blossoming into a star for West Coast from beyond the arc. He's found his stroke, and he's driving inside effectively as well, becoming a all-around great player. It's going to take a lot from him as a freshman to really emphasize this team's strengths and continue to win games.
And Wesley hitting 10 of the Eagles' only 21 field goals last night. That's a number that's going to have to rise if we're going to see the Eagles come out on top tonight. Well, we are just about 20 seconds until everything gets rolling, and so we'll be back on the other side of the opening prayer and national anthem, bringing you starting lineups and the opening tip.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to the Walther Center for tonight's exciting matchup between the Skyhawks of Navajo Tech University and your West Coast Baptist Eagles. We'd like to welcome the officials for tonight's game, Ms. Shakira Autry, Mr. Tim Johnson, and Mr. Anthony Carter. Now fans, we ask that you would please rise, and gentlemen, kindly remove your hats as we open tonight's game with word of prayer, and as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Opening tonight's game with word of prayer, President of West Coast Baptist College, Dr. Paul Chappell.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. We're glad you're here at the Walther Center. We want to welcome Navajo Tech, and glad they had a safe trip over, and we're looking forward to a great game tonight. Let's pray and ask God to give us a good game, shall we? Our Father, we want to thank you for bringing our guests here safely across the desert. We want to thank you for the privilege to have this game tonight. We thank you most of all, Lord Jesus, that you came down to this earth, that you were born in Bethlehem, that you lived a perfect life, and that because of love, you died on the cross for our sin. Thank you for making it possible for us to have a relationship with God and a home in heaven. And Lord, in this land where so many people are running from you, help us to be a light to show men and women the way of the cross. Please bless this game tonight. Help the players to play with good spirit. Keep them safe from injury. Bless the coaches, the referees, and the fans. And may we leave this place saying it was good to be here tonight. We ask it all in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
And now, to honor America, please welcome West Coast Baptist College Quartet as they perform tonight's Star Spangled Banner.
See by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's flash gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
gentlemen, the West Coast Baptist College men's quartet. And now it's time for the starting lineups. Let's meet the visiting Skyhawks of Navajo Tech University. Starting guard freshman, number 32, Jason Redhouse. At guard freshman, number 24, Anthony Alves. Starting guard sophomore, number 11, Brady Ramon. Starting at forward, sophomore number 10, Quinn Adazun. And starting at guard, senior number 5, Conway Kenyon. Fans, it's time to get on your feet. Time to meet the starting lineups for your West Coast Baptist Eagles. From Bridgeport, Michigan, starting down freshman, number 30, and 3. Starting guy from Fort Morgan, Colorado, freshman, number 12, Wesley Cox. The center from Santa Clarita, California, number 44, Jordan Bateman. From the great state of Texas, juniors, starting at guard, number 10, Papa Braxton Bishop. And starting at forward, from Long Beach, California, senior, number 3, Ethan Delaney. And head coach for your Eagles, John Susan. And assistant coach, Seth Hanna. Eagle fans, it's time for West Coast basketball!
And we're back on the other side of the pregame festivities and excited for this one here. As you can see on the court, in the backcourt, we're going to have Lance Figg, Wesley Carnes, and Braxton Bosher. Ethan Delaney on the wings, Jordan Bateman getting ready to jump this one against Quinn Adazun for Navajo Tech. The Skyhawks starting off with this. West Coast looks like they're in man here in the early going. And swinging around the perimeter here. Working inside if they can get there. Good job walling that one off by the Eagles. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Out into the corner. And that's going to bounce through the Eagles' hands. Good effort from both sides. And Redhouse working here before swinging the ball around. Navajo looking for a particularly good shot. Hasn't come yet other than that 3. And Redhouse just getting a little bit too fast of a start in on that one.
Really
Eagles holding on.
Really encouraging for West Coast there. Full minute of possession there for the Skyhawks as they were able to move the ball around. But West Coast was very disciplined there on defense and cut off any offensive opportunities.
And Navajo Tech coming up high to press the Eagles. Braxton finding Ethan down inside, and a very calm, composed finish by Ethan. Didn't make it look more difficult than it needed to. Good work there. And Navajo Tech struggling in the early going to try to break down the Eagles. It's going to be a long game, but encouraging effort here. A little jitterbug step by Brady Ramon. And the Eagles getting back.
And that's back-to-back possessions ending in a travel for Navajo. That's not really encouraging to see here. You heard the coach mentioning that they haven't played in a while. Maybe it's just some mental errors that they're running into here.
And West Coast facing a little bit of that press. Braxton inside. Now it's going to be out and a turnover here. 1-on-2, but the good finish by Kane Kenyon. And that's going to knot it up here about 2 minutes into this game. Bosher trying to work his way around. Carnes needs to get over. And the Eagles going to turn this one over. Third turnover of the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds in the early going here. And number 24, Anthony Alves, working it around the wing here. And that one's going to get passed into Braxton's foot. Kickball, not much he could have done about that there. Ramon working on the baseline to inbound here. Kenyon pulls up and is going to splash that one. And the Skyhawks answering here. And so far, the Eagles kind of been working it horizontally down the court. Navajo willing to press up high. Carnes with a nifty finish.
Navajo running a zone defense now with high pressure, trying to cut as much time off the clock as they can. Every possession here from West Coast.
And the pull-up mid-range jump shot. That one's going to rattle home. Bosher coming up. And Carnes to Bosher up over the top of it. The Eagles have been fairly effective when they've been able to get it into half-court kinds of situations. Let's see what they're able to do with this here. Lance working down inside. And that one's going to get shorted amid some defensive pressure. Skyhawks coming back down the court. And another pull up, too, that's going to come home right over the hand of Ethan Delaney. Good defense by him, but not much you can do against good shot making. And Carnes looking to work on his man now. Fig, one-on-one for the moment. Bosher, can he go inside? It's to Ethan. It's deflected out by Kane Kenyon.
Just 7 seconds now on the shot clock. It's going to require play as we see David Goe making a sub in here for Lance. He's going to be looking to provide an early spark for this team as they've been off to a bit of a slow start.
And both teams with their first substitution of the night. Delaney with 7 and gets rung up for a reach. Anthony Alves with his first. Score is 9-4, just about 4 minutes into this. That's going to reset the shot clock from 5 to 20. And Ethan Delaney is going to hold up, get it to Braxton to let him go to work. Into the corner. Good ball movement. Ethan to Jordan, just a little bit deep there. And Jordan's first shot of the night. Navajo Tech now working it up. Anthony Alves. Jordan now up top, holding up there on defense. Alves working down and in. Out for 3. That's going to be a little bit deep, and the Eagles going to let that one go. Braxton into Wesley right away, trying to get things moving here before the press is able to get home. Delaney. And good awareness. Wesley pulls up, hits it.
Just a little head fake there from Wesley, was able to make it seem like he was going to swing it around to David, gave himself just enough space to shoot, and he nailed it from three for his first shot of the game.
In the corner for the Skyhawks. That's been somewhere they've looked for so far. And Ethan getting the rebound after it was bouncing around a bit, but in focusing on the rebound, defense was able to sneak up a little bit. Denetso now working here against Goway, both substitutes involved in that play. And Carnes dancing away with the board, now looking for it across to Braxton. Can he make something happen? Good cross court by David. And Navajo's done a good job of getting hands in dribbling lanes and passing lanes. And Carnes getting that one there. And this one's going to be a foul against David Goway.
Wesley has been heavily involved so far this game. He just had a big defensive play there. He's chalked up 5 points to start this half. He's been everywhere thus far. He might be in tune for another big game to continue this hot stretch that he's had.
And Braxton on defense up top. Now Austin Pace, having just checked into the game with the defensive assignment. And that one is going to be a tough finish by Anthony Alves. Jordan Bateman up there for the contest. Looks like the refs thought he might have caught a little bit of that anyway, but number 24, Alves, able to finish. Now Braxton working across against Talon West. And West going to get rung up right away. Skyhawks up 4, 6 minutes into this one. Braxton and Jordan, little two-man game to get it in. Pull up, hits it by Wesley Carnes. And Carnes with 8 of the Eagles' 10 to open this game, picking up right where he left off yesterday. Navajo Tech showing a willingness to pull up for these long twos, Blake. Not something that we see as much when teams come on in here. All right, we're in the era of the three-point shot in basketball.
Yeah, and that seems to be number 5's specialty. We've seen him shoot from the mid-range just quite often here. I'm wondering if we're going to see ourselves going to go into a shoot-off here between number 5 of Navajo and Wesley Carnes, as Wesley started off hot, and number 5 is knocking down some shots as well. Just going to have to see if they're both in tune for this game, if they're both in good enough shape to continue.
Brady Ramon coming into this game. Braxton working on top of the key. David pulls up and splashes that one himself. Back-to-back three-pointers off back-to-back assists from Braxton, and this game has been a nice back-and-forth affair so far. 13-13 with 13:01 left in this first half. Pace stepping out to guard the inbounds, and Red House is going to be the one bringing it up. David playing some physical defense here against Ramon, who's now going to work around a pick. David meets him on the other side. And that one getting called against David. You could see there's some contact there, but there's a level allowed in basketball. It felt like that was probably within the limits, but the ref maybe saw a hand come in or something like that. The bucket by Red House makes it a 2-point margin for the Skyhawks. Navajo staying committed to this press.
Yeah, they're giving Braxton a lot of attention here early. There's probably something they're seeing on film here. They know they got to eliminate his shot, his ability to drive inside. He's been picking up a lot of double teams thus far.
5 on the shot clock. Can we make something? Wesley for 3, splashes it. Bombing away from outside. And this is a 1-point Eagles lead in the early stages here, about 8 minutes in. After a rough shooting night last night by the Eagles, they're making up for lost time here. Kicks it to the corner. Red House tries to answer. Bateman and Goe both right there for it. Now Braxton pushing it up. Hard to press him there. Giving him an opportunity to work. It's to Wesley. It's to the bucket. And breaking the defensive plan single-handedly.
Let me tell y'all, it is so scary to think that Wesley is only a freshman, just his first year of collegiate basketball. He's playing with such poise, such a killer instinct from beyond the arc. To think that he's only going to get better from here is terrifying.
And something that we talked about earlier on in the season, you could tell there's that scoring instinct there, but some of the shooting percentages, so just some of those ways of finding that opening to give yourself the best chance at it, hadn't fully come along yet. It's not fully there. No one's a finished product partway through their freshman year. But something that you can tell is a developing part of his game. Wesley trying to just drop the hammer from outside there. Definitely a heat check three, but it's hard to get hotter than he's been in the early going.
Yeah, I think that was kind of for him something he was just going to see exactly how well he was shooting tonight. I mean, he hadn't missed a shot up until then.
And David Goa with his third foul. Less than 10 minutes into this game, the only one with fouls on the Eagles' side of things. It doesn't even maybe seem like all of his were terrible fouls, but even on that last drive, he was getting in there, he was sticking his nose into play and playing physically, and that's a good thing. You got to have that as a defender, but when you're already on 2 fouls, you wonder if there's something a little different you can do. They're not giving you any of that margin in the way they're whistling you tonight. And now Coach Sisson having some substitution questions he's going to have to ask himself.
Yeah, with David Goe, he's really settled into that 6-man role that Coach Sisson has put him in. And with that 6-man role, he knows he's got 5 fouls for the entire game. So whenever he comes in, he knows he's not getting a full 40 minutes. So he can kind of play to be liberal with his fouling in a way. So he found himself early in this game already being subbed in, looking to give his team a spark, which he has provided. But right now, it's just something that I think there should have been maybe a little bit more of a mindset change after maybe that first or second foul, thinking, man, I'm early in this game. I want to continue to play, and I don't know if I can be effective if I have it in the back of my mind for the next 25 minutes of this competition.
And Coach Sisson leaving him out on the court, and so a huge indication of trust in David. And now he's going to send Lance to the line. And so maybe this is just the way that the substitutions had to work. We'll see if this is for David or someone else, though. And that's going to be splashed by Brady Ramon, and David is coming out. Would have been a little bit shocking. Certainly, you trust him to give us all on defense. You trust him to be smart doing so. But the math is not in your favor. And so with 10:35 left in the first half, it's tied up at 19. Navajo staying pretty committed to their defensive game plan. They're going to force the ball to go side to side. And really they haven't been looking so much yet to jump those cross-court passes. And a bit of a mental breakdown there on that one. And Coach Sisson immediately coming over to Braxton. Lance was in control of the possession, and then the ball just kind of slipped away from him. Over the half court now. Lance pushing it up. And a good shot by Pace, getting that little baseline floater to go. It's a tricky shot. He's not shooting a ton, so he's just got to come in without much of a chance to warm up. That's not a huge shooting role on this team, but a great bucket there to tie this one back up.
And Austin Pace has been finding himself with a lot more minutes now in this long homestand. So he's going to be getting a lot more looks, a lot more chances to be effective coming into this. And he finds himself early in this game getting some playing time, and he makes it the most of it.
Something we were talking about earlier in our run-up to this game. Good look by Bateman, finding Delaney. Kicks out to Wesley, who's now going to drive. Bateman up and can't get it to go. Pace gonna get called for that. It's a take foul. It's breaking up the fast break. Not too much wrong with that one. Number 44, Joshua Tillman, coming into the game for number 3, Tyvon Kelly. Both sides been willing enough to make substitutions, and we've got Zach Clay coming to the scorer's table now, and he's going to come in for Jordan Bateman. And the game really leveled up for a couple of seconds there, but we were talking about before the game, seeing how Coach Sisson was going to substitute. The 4th out of 5 games in 6 days. Good shot by Quinn Adazun. If there's a time to mix and match, it feels like that might be tonight.
Yeah, you're coming on I think this is the 4th home game now this week for West Coast. It's going to really start showing the effects of that fatigue on your starters. We saw Braxton got an early sub there. David Goway finding his way into the game early along with Austin Pace. Coach Sisson is not showing any fear with his bench, showing a lot of confidence in his full roster right now.
And Braxton with a sweet pull-up jumper at one end. Jumped the passing lane on the other end, but wasn't quite able to come away with that steal. Good deflection, though. Give the team a chance to settle in. Adazun up to Redhouse. And that one, he got one extra one in there. And Navajo figuring out which guys are going to come up and press. The one constant is that somebody's going to. Carnes now across. And can Braxton get it to fall? Almost there. And that's going to come down to Kenyon. Back to Red House working up top. 23-23. About 8 minutes left in this one. Red House for 3. A little to the right, and Braxton's going to come down with that board. To Wesley, who's looking at it, but working around a pick now. A little bit short there. Anyone would cool off after that flaming hot start. But we're seeing him kind of look a little more creatively for his shots, trying to stay a step ahead of the defense's adjustments. Adazun out to Red House, drives it this time. And Pace inbounding here. And Delaney now with this one here, out into the corner. Pace for 3, just a touch long. And the rim not gonna let that one go.
And Navajo, every single time they grab a rebound, they seem to want to test the waters on the fast break with that outbound pass, looking to really push the pace every single time they pick up a rebound, whether that's offensive or defensive.
Adazun with a good 3. Good ball movement by Navajo to get it there. Eagles did a good job to contest, not a lucky miss per se. Wesley splashing it. I think the crazy thing is that most of his threes haven't come close to hitting the rim. He is really feeling it tonight.
And you got to start thinking, if you're Coach Flacco, if you got to start making adjustments, maybe you guys pay a little bit more attention here to Wesley, as he's been really effective this first half. Has just been establishing himself as the playmaker of this team thus far.
Eagles looked like they were going to get the turnover there, but it slipped away from a little bit. Adazun working down the baseline. Tillman now coming in, and the refs keeping a tight whistle on travels here in this game. They're really looking for any extra steps or slides or anything like that. With 6:18 left in the first half, it's Eagles 26, Skyhawks 25.
And just to touch on the travels that you mentioned a moment ago, the refs might have. I wonder if they had a conversation before the game, if that's something that was brought to their attention. But right now, it's just there's just been a lot of travel. It's just not really a foul or a violation that you see very often in a college game or really any level past high school. So I'm not sure exactly what they're seeing here, but it just seems to be a mental error by Navajo, as we're not really seeing it on the West Coast side either. I don't know exactly if maybe it seems like they had a break before this game, so it may just be that mental lapse that they're having on these possessions.
And refs, quite likely, right, talking through different points of emphasis before the game. It's possible this was one of theirs. If you're Coach Sisson, what is your point of emphasis right now for the team? What are you looking for the guys to be bringing here in the last 6:18 of this half?
I mean, right now you've been playing well. Your playmakers are making plays. Wesley's been hitting his shots. Braxton has been breaking down the defense as you wish. But really, you need to start focusing on Navajo's playmakers. Number 5 specifically, he's been killing you in the mid-range along the post there. You just got to make sure you can keep a tighter leash on him if possible, because this game is close and it feels like it's on the verge of either of these teams breaking away with it.
And you've got 2 bigs in the game, Jordan Bateman and Zach Clay. And so really with that, you've also got Ethan and Braxton in as well. And so we'll see if Coach Sisson makes any substitutions beyond this, but with some of the larger Eagles players in, really probably their 3 most consistent kind of wings to bigs, with Zach, Jordan, and Ethan all in. Looking like that's something that Coach Sisson wanted to look at here. And so he hasn't done it as much in recent games this year, but something Coach Sisson does like to do, he'll try to double up off of those media timeouts, give his guys a little bit more of a breather, maybe a chance to work through some more specific or detailed game plan items. Maybe it's just a chance to rest. Again, we're on the 4th out of 5 games this week already, the 4th game in 5 nights. Second night of a back-to-back. Really what's going to be a back-to-back-to-back. So maybe this is just a chance to get some rest in. 26-25 Eagles, 6:18 left in this one. And Navajo out on the court, kind of talking things through among themselves from out there. Coach Sisson keeping his guys in the huddle all the way through. And we're going to break with the same lineup, so no changes there. He didn't see a matchup he didn't like or something like that. And so you wonder if he's trying to pass over the press with height or if he's just looking for something else there. A good turnover forced by Navajo. That's going to put them out in the lead by 1. Certainly not how the Eagles were hoping to break the timeout.
And that's exactly what Navajo wants there. That's the point of the full court press. Caused mistakes just like we've seen here. Another turnover.
And a bit of a sloppy pass there. Ethan with the jump. Can he get it? Can he finish? And he gets all the way to the other side. That's a smart play by Ethan. He knew that Kane Kenyon was in his vicinity, and he was going to use the rim there to try to make life more difficult on any chase down attempt. Eagles by 1, 5.5 here.
West Coast changing to a zone defense now. That's something that we see consistently, a transition from a man to zone and just back and forth, changing their looks defensively, forcing adjustments from their opposing team.
Skyhawks up 2, and Eagles getting across and getting right into the corner. A tough pass, sets up Wesley for a shot, gets his own board, out to Jordan. Can he open his account for tonight? A little deep, and that one's going to come down to Anthony Alves, who's away. Some good looks for the Eagles there. Braxton splitting the double team well. Ethan out to Wesley well, Wesley to Jordan well, but the Eagles coming away empty from that possession. Skyhawks by 2. And Ethan jumping a passing lane, getting a fast break basket. Now he's going to get forced a turnover down on that end, and that's going to be the third against starter Anthony Alves for Navajo Tech. And so both sides really playing fairly clean. Only 8 fouls called total in over 16 minutes of gameplay, but 6 of those 8 have been against either Goe for the Eagles or Alves for the Skyhawks. And the hands, they're on Talon West, forcing the turnover. Skyhawks by 2, looking for the chance to work. Good high post passing there by Joshua Tillman, and Skyhawks up 4. It's at least their largest lead in a while. I think they had 5 earlier. Bateman into Delaney, and Delaney puts it down. Braxton repossessing. And Jordan is going to go up for the hook shot. And this is going to go against Red House. And Navajo Tech thinking they'd gotten away with the defensive stop. Bateman's going to hit the first, I think, opening the scoring for him, doing it from the line. It's a quieter offensive day from him, even just in terms of, overall shot attempts. Really, as much as anything, he's been kind of a passing hub to try to connect Eagles players while they're working through the press.
And Austin now being directed to pick up a little bit full court, just apply a little bit more pressure. Coach Sisson doesn't want Navajo to get too comfortable here early in this game.
And Austin has some defensive versatility. A lot of times Coach Sisson likes playing him almost as like a small ball 4. But here you see him stepping out all the way essentially as that point guard on defense. Bosher inside. And he's going to have a chance to go to the line. The push rung up against Tyvon Kelly.
Austin Pace's role is going to be evolving early in this game, as we saw David pick up some early fouls here in this game. He's really kind of that man right after David who's going to be finding his role, but he's going to have to fill that role that David provides, which is a very effective spark plug. And right now that may not just be exactly how Austin plays basketball, but he's a very effective player on his own nonetheless, and we're seeing that so far this game.
Yeah, I think we think of David kind of as that wing, right, guarding like shooting guards, small forwards. Austin, similar height, but someone that we think of maybe more as playing up. But really, Austin's listed as an inch shorter, and he's got the quickness to be able to hang on the perimeter as well. Coach Sisson looking for him to do that. Kenyon is going to bury that to break the tie. 35-32, 3 left in this one. Carnes getting the man up and then getting the pass over. Delaney looking around now. And Braxton surveying, 14 on the shot clock. Goes in for 2, hits that. Maybe just a step inside the 3, but he came up in rhythm. He liked what he was seeing there. Just a little under 3 minutes left in this one. Skyhawks up 1, what's been a very close first half. Kenyon thought about that one. Now Ramon out to Kelly. And a couple of times the Eagles have thought they might have been able to get a turnover. Good through pass to Ethan, to Jordan, and gets that one up and in. Good positional awareness from him there. Good positional awareness by Ethan, for that matter.
Yeah, a great dish, bounce pass there, gave Jordan an open look, and with his height just towering over everybody in the paint, there wasn't any doubt he was going to get that one. An interesting thing to note with the full court press that Navajo's providing right now, West Coast, whenever they do get to their half, they're not really getting a chance to be fully settled until about 15 seconds on the shot clock. So you're losing half of your possession time every single time you go down for an offensive chance.
And the Skyhawks getting that one there. First foul rung up on Bateman. Stayed pretty vertical with it, but I think you can see the hands kind of slide just at the very end. Something you maybe could have gotten away with, but if the refs were looking for it just a little bit there, but only going to have one at most for Adazun. Misses the first there. No Skyhawks currently on the block. Either a lot of trust that Adazun's going to hit this second one, or a little bit of a change in defensive game plan from them here. Dinetso and Kelly around half court now. And now the pressure's going to start to come. Braxton surveying up at the top. Can he get it? And just rattles over and out from the left-hand side. Adazun working. And the Skyhawks looking around. And this one's away. Can Braxton finish? And he's going to get fouled by Dontrell Dinetso.
Number 13 there saw the open break. Braxton would have had an easy dunk, easy lay for him. Number 13 decided it was time for him to earn his points at the line. If he was just going to get them for free, he might as well cash them in here at the charity stripe.
Braxton, one of the top 2 scorers at this level, NCCAA D2, in total free throws made. He's in the top 5 in free throw percentage, with the highest volume of anyone up there. So he's a consistent player from that position. Missed the first, but got the second. Eagles only down 1. It's about 70 seconds left. And Pace staying attached there. But that one is not going to get away with that.
You can't be upset with that foul from Pace there, as Coach Sisson had advised him, told him that he needed to pick him up full court. He's just staying on his man, making sure the pressure is there. It's not a bad foul by any stretch of the definition.
And I guess they saw a late shuffle by Pace there. And that's going to be a third against Austin. And so he'd been playing pretty cleanly, and yet 2 in the last 9 seconds of game time. Going to have Coach Sisson rethinking his wing defense. We might see kind of some of those supersized lineups. Maybe Zach comes in. Ethan slides down to small forward, given a little bit more opportunity out on the wings there. Skyhawks by 1. One more can be made here. And there's 1:01 on the first half clock. And this is going to get inbounded to Wesley pretty quickly. Really only looking one-on-one here. Full court pressure, but not a full court trap. Now there's the trap. Spins free, dishes to Jordan, and misses the dunk. He saw the chance for the highlight play. Good aggressiveness. And that one's going to bounce out. Bateman gets it stripped. And that one's going to go back Navajo's direction. It's a game of inches sometimes. And a couple of these inches here going against the Eagles. Skyhawks up 2. 6.4 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Eagles need to dig in and get a stop here. There's been a lot of good effort here in the first half. Rahman goes up for it, and then this is going to get blocked by Delaney down into a jump ball opportunity. Eagles dodging a bullet here. 31, so a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Essentially, you just play this one out and you look for your best opportunity. Navajo Tech finally moving away from the press that they've been looking at so far, and it doesn't look like they want to bring a trap here against Braxton. He's hit a couple of nice longer passes so far in this one. 2-man game with Wesley. Wesley's going to go up off the glass. And this one, a pretty good look by Tyvon Kelly. Had to hustle down the court to find that opening, but found it. Just couldn't put it down. And so at the end of the first half, it's going to be Navajo Tech 39, your West Coast Baptist College Eagles 37. And in a back and forth matchup here, it's Navajo Tech with one of the finest of early margins. We're going to bring you first half stats in a second, and then we're going to have a special halftime segment. We haven't done something like this yet this year. That'll be coming up a couple minutes afterwards. So go make some popcorn if you're one of our East Coast fans. Grab some late night coffee if you want to risk it. And we'll see you in a couple minutes.
The goal is for the blue team to get this blue flag and bring it back to their side. And this orange team is going to guard it over here under the hoop. We also have the goal of that team is to get this orange flag and bring it back to their side as well. Pretty basic rules tonight. If they get a flag pulled on their person, they need to go back to their side before they can enter the game. If they lose all three flags, they are done. Except. That is very good. Yeah, you thought a long time about that. I took 3 or 4 minutes on that one. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. So, here we go. Who thinks that the blue team from Canoga Park is going to win this? Let's hear it for Canoga Park. Over here we got Lancaster Baptist on the orange side. Lancaster Baptist versus Canoga Park. Let's count down for the beginning of Jurassic Capture the Flag, Nick. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
A little hesitant after the start.
There's a lot of strategy on the
I
board
can see
tonight.
these orange dinosaurs really creeping up. They're taking their time here.
They are strategizing. You can see it in their brains. Okay. We got a little bit of mileage on that flag over there. This is getting violent. This is getting very violent tonight.
They are dinosaurs.
Brother Nick, I think we needed to have them sign waivers before this. Oh man.
Their arms are too short to do that.
We have the yellow flag has made some progress over here. The blue flag! The blue flag!
He's got the flag! He's got the flag!
What's happening down here? We have a winner for our first round tonight. Let's hear it for Canoga Park. Awesome job. Go back to your sides for round two. Round two, Canoga Park. That was awesome. Let's get those flags back on them.
All right, well, let's get you some halftime stats. Leading the way for Navajo Tech, Kane Kenyon, number 5, 13 points, 3 boards. Quinn Audazun, 8 points. 3 field goals made, 1 from outside, hitting 1 of his from the line as well. In the first half, Navajo Tech, 27% from outside the arc, but a sizzling 13 of 17, 76% from inside the arc. That's going to be rough for the Eagles to overcome if they can't find a way to slow them down on the interior. From the Eagles side of things, 17 first half points by Wesley Carnes, 6 of 11 from the field, 5 of 8 from outside, 7 points, 6 assists by Braxton Bosher. 4 points leading the rest with Ethan and Jordan both at that mark. 3 fouls by Anthony Alves of Navajo Tech. 3 fouls by David Goe and Austin Pace of West Coast. Something both their coaches are going to have an eye on here in the second half. Blake, what's something that stands out to you from the first half statistics that we haven't mentioned yet?
Really, if you look at it, shooting 50% from three, 50% total from the field goal line for 4 field goals for West Coast to start the half. 50% is great wherever you look at it. 83% from the charity stripe. It's just great as a team. It may not match quite up with Navajo as they're shooting 57% total, only 27% though from beyond the arc. Something really to look for there. West Coast has been finding open looks, taking those open looks, and that can be seen with Wesley's point total and just across the team with their shot taking as well.
One player I think is going to need to step up in the second half after a couple of double-doubles in his first games for West Coast. Jordan Bateman, a little bit quieter game last time out. Here in the first half, 1 of 5 from the field, hit both of his free throws. Only 4 points, 2 boards, 1 block. Still providing valuable minutes for sure. 15 minutes out on the court, but a little bit quieter than his own high standards. We're going to want to see him step up for sure. Well, we're going to be back in 4 minutes, and I'm excited for what we're going to be talking about then. Grab a drink or something. We'll be back in 4 minutes.
Help us out here. Thank you. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
Oh man, he's going right for it.
Oh man, there is no fear. There is
We got a flag pole.
We have a flag pole.
Oh no!
We have
I don't know what's happening.
Let's go. We lost the flag here for yellow. We lost the flag here. It needs to go back. We lost the flag here. Austin, go ahead back. Here we go.
I think we got 2 dinosaurs just waiting it out.
Yeah.
Waiting to see what happens.
Let's keep it going, guys. This is the winner. This is the winning round.
Oh, he's going through.
We got a flag pull. We got a flag pull. They got to go back.
All right, well, welcome to our halftime segment that I'm calling Are You Listening, NCCAA. We've got a lot of great players on the team. We've got Wesley Carnes playing great tonight. Guys like Ethan Delaney or Jordan Bateman finding their role in this team. But here's my hot take for the season that shouldn't be a hot take. Braxton Bosher deserves to have his name in the All-America conversation. 7 points, 6 assists in the first half. A little bit quieter, although certainly plenty of assists. Let's talk some stats. So all of these stats are from the NCCAA website as of Wednesday morning. We've updated it with West Coast's games this week. So Braxton on the season, 21.3 points, 4.4 assists, 4.4 rebounds, 4.6 assists on 55% shooting. That's his stat line so far this year. Let's put that in context. 4th in the nation in points per game, 7th in the nation in assists per game, 3rd in points plus assists, 4th in points plus rebounds plus assists per game. Again, 4th in points, but among top 25 scorers. 4th in field goal percentage, 2nd in true shooting percentage, only missing out on 1st by 1/10%. He's one of 4 players in the country averaging 24 and 3, one of only 2 doing that on 50+% from the field. It's just him and Jude Warren, right now the runaway leader of Player of the Year from Spurgeon College. Braxton, the only other player in that kind of situation. Hey, per 40 minutes, he's just a hair under 28 points, just under 6 boards, right at 6 assists. So hey, let's put it down to 25, 5, and 5. Okay? Give it a little bit of margin there, about 10% margin for all of them. One of only 3 players over that mark. Jude Warren again, as well as Brayson Bars Richardson from Randall University in Oklahoma. Andre Johnson from Ozark Christian College, just 1/10 of an assist per 40 behind. So one of only 3 players in the country hitting that mark. One of only 2 with that plus 50%. Let's give some context here again. What does 25, 5, and 5 look like in the NBA? 25, 5, and 5, 25 points, 5 boards, 5 assists per 40 minutes with over 50% shooting from the field. There's 11 guys doing that in the NBA this year. You might have heard of them. Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, LeBron James, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün, Zion Williamson, Pascal Siakam, Jimmy Butler. You roll them out on Sunday, that's the favorite in the All-Star game, okay? So that's some pretty good company there. The only 7 guys exceeding him in all the counting stats per 40, Giannis, Zion, Jokic, SGA, Durant, Embiid, LeBron. So is Braxton the only key to this team? Of course not. There's a lot of good players. Is the team overall, do we have the winning record of some others? I'm not able to compare conference difficulty. That's not something that we've got the stats to do. But what we can say is that Braxton is scoring at an elite clip nationally. 4th in the country points per game, 7th in assists per game, high efficiency. This is a guy that, as many good players as there are out there, deserves to be on someone's radar when they're doing some end-of-the-year voting. And so with that, I'm going to go grab some water, and in 50 seconds, we're going to bring you the second half. Blake, while I'm doing some of that, what's something we should be looking for here in the second half from West Coast if we're going to turn this margin around?
Well, some of the things we're going to need to do today, obviously Braxton, he didn't have a crazy scoring first half there. He was efficient whenever he was taking shots, but Navajo being very efficient, trying to shut him down. Just like last game, it's providing Wesley lots of opportunities here to take over, get some points, find some open looks. But Braxton, he is a high-quality player, easily one of the best players on this team and one of the best players on the court every single time he's on the court. He is going to find a way to make plays. You just got to give him a chance. Navajo's been bringing lots of pressure this game. I don't know if that's going to be something they're going to consistently do. They have been able to steal possessions with success here in the first half. So that's something that West Coast is going to have to adjust with. And with that adjustment, it's going to be led by Braxton because he is the player that this team is going to rally behind.
Johnson. Conway, Jason Woodhouse. Timeout number 4. Timeout Eagles.
Both David Goe and Austin Pace come into the scoring table. Both of them on 3 fouls, but Coach Sisson deciding that he is not going to roll with the same lineup here. David and Ed come into the scorers table as well. So we're going to see a very different look here from the Eagles coming out of this timeout, the way it's shaping up.
That zone defense has really been proving a problem here for West Coast to start this half off. Some rough turnovers there to start the game, something you can't really afford to see whenever you already come into the half down. It's going to be a very strong message in the huddle there from Coach Sisson. As we mentioned, there's going to be a lot of changes. The only people that are staying on the court is a freshman duo in Lance Figg and Wesley Carnes. David Adelet, Austin Pace, and David Goe finding their way into the game here. And Navajo is going to come out confidently with their same lineup.
Anthony Alvarez. David Goa for 3.
In that first possession, we didn't see a lot of pressure coming from Navajo. They started bringing it again there on Wesley. They forced him to make an adjustment, and he was able to find a player open in the corner in David Goe. And looking at the lineup that we have on the court right now, I don't think we've had a minute this season where these 5 guys have been on the court at the same time. So it's very interesting to see they're going to be adjusting to each other on the fly. Obviously, you have that practice time, but this just doesn't amount to the same to a game.
Foul number 5, Kenyon. First personal foul. Contact the Eagles for 3 shots. Number 21, David Adelaide.
Providing Navajo a bit of a taste of their own medicine here. They weren't able to adjust to that full court press, and it's making them very uncomfortable now.
Out-of-bounds, Eagles basketball.
West Coast taking hold of this game. The momentum is shifting. It is felt all throughout the WAC here. David just making his presence known. He hit a 3 earlier in this half, and he's making sure that everybody is aware.
And David going to the line. Chance to tie this one up here. 47-46. And that one's going to rattle out, keeping the Skyhawks in the lead at 5 minutes here. Red House works through, finds Adazun, but a little bit further back, and he's going to have to reset. Alves now in the corner. Kenyon quieter on offense. And that one's going to be coming back to the Eagles. Chance to take the lead. It's been a 9-0 run. Can they make it 11? Wesley across the half-court stripe now.
With Wesley, with the ball in Wesley's hand, you're going to look to make this one. Oh, never mind.
Foul number 41, Pace.
And Pace getting rung up for that. That's his 4th. Coach Sisson immediately on making some of these changes might have been looking at it more as a change-up to try to stay in the game, maybe trying to get his starters some rest. to then push back later. But really, this lineup has had a lot of the actual answers that have been needed. Go away to Wesley. It's 2-on-2. David in the corner. And now it's the reset. Stays on the Eagles side. 13:59 left in the game. Skyhawks up 1. Braxton coming in for Austin Pace. And I don't think we've seen better minutes from a bench-heavy lineup all season. David to David, and almost puts it down. It's Navajo Tech by 1 as Alves works from the top. The 3 is away, and that's good to break a 9-0 run. And the press is coming back. Wesley and Braxton going horizontal again. We've seen this before. Now Lance pushes it in. David in the corner. And it's been moving around, but with 10, they're going to need to find a bucket. David might have to pull. And another one is in and out for Goe.
Goe's getting open looks. You can't discourage him from taking those shots. They're going to start falling if he keeps pulling them like this. He's just got to keep shooting.
And Kenyon Adazun, and that's going to get knocked away by David, but it'll stay on the Skyhawks side of things. 11 on the shot clock. Braxton, the only kind of typical starter checking into this lineup. Obviously, Wesley had been there. Goe certainly gets plenty of minutes. But Coach Sisson been reticent to mess with what's been working over the last 6 minutes of this game. Braxton tries to Euro step around, but isn't going to get that one. 52-46. 12 and a half minutes left in this one. Skyhawks with the ball. Adazun down low. Up and in, and they've tossed it down to him the last couple of possessions, looking for answers there. It had been 10 for the Skyhawks, then only 1. Now it's back out to 8. And this one's going to go against
Second personal foul.
Talon West with the whistle.
Lots of contact there as Wesley Carnes was trying to create some space for himself inside. Nice Euro step, drew the foul, drew the contact, and now we see him at the line.
Carnes hits the first. It's 7. Delaney in for Goe. Rather for David Lett. And so we've got all of the starters except for David in for Jordan. And so Coach Sisson kind of going back to his more typical lineups, but some good minutes, some good play here. It's a 6-point game, but it's felt closer than that for stretches. But Kenyon is going to hit that to put it out to 9. And Alves jumps that one, trying to go up and over. Braxton to Wesley. And Fig now looking for the outlet. Wesley, Ethan.
Looks like we had a blocking foul, much to the disagreement of the Navajo bench there and players. They are shaking their heads in disbelief on that call.
And I believe we're going to have a media timeout. Skyhawks up 11, largest of the game so far.
Let's hear it for another Eagles team.
And the Eagles went down 10, fought it back to 1, and yet Navajo Tech certainly finding their opportunities to push back. Jordan Bateman coming into the game out of this timeout, it looks like. And so, really, I feel like a different sort of second half than we would have expected at halftime. We talked about Braxton's strong performances so far this year, but he was sitting along with a lot of the rest of them. We talked about Jordan Bateman as someone to look for in the big second half bounce back, but he had his minutes on the bench. But we don't want to define the Eagles' play by the guys that weren't out there on the court. The guys that were on the court doing a lot to fight this game back. Got it just about there, and yet Adazun, especially on the Navajo Tech side of things, able to go inside, able to find some scoring opportunities there.
And as we get farther into this homestand, especially with the game coming tomorrow, you're really going to have to start thinking about getting those starters a lot of rest. I know we mentioned it earlier in this game, but a lot of these starters are going to be getting some minutes on the bench just so that they're not overexerting themselves for the course of this week.
And as we see guys like Jordan Bateman come in, who is out there from the opening tip, we see guys like Braxton come out. So Coach Sisson interchanging these lineups here. Wesley looking for someone. David is down and is able to get that one. Drives in. Goe from outside. That's going to be a little to the right. David's hit from outside this half. I think that's 1 for 4, though. And the Eagles really need some stops the next couple of possessions. And dodging a bullet there, Joshua Tillman just a little bit too strong. And Delaney felt a little out of control there on that drive. Not a bad thought. Goe comes down with the board. And now Wesley's bringing it up. It's been a helter-skelter affair the last couple minutes here. Navajo less likely to press, it's felt like, with Braxton out. Jordan in the corner, hits it.
And that's a big 3 there just to reestablish Jordan, not only reestablish Jordan into the game, but just West Coast scoring, as West Coast has been kind of struggling so far this half to get some shots to fall. That's going to be big for not only the team, but Jordan to get hot.
It's been 20-14 in the second half, 20-11 before that shot there. Jordan only with 1 made field goal to this point. And so really an opportunity to get back in a rhythm from that. Coach Sisson calling a timeout as soon as that one went down. But not quite as close as the Eagles would have hoped from earlier. Pace is back out on the court, playing with 4. And David is coming towards the scorer's table, but we'll see if he is entering the game or not. And David is going to sit back down. David Goe is going to sit back down. David Adlet out on the court right now. 10:33. Skyhawks with the ball, up 8. They've had the advantage in the second half. Can Jordan's 3 be the start of the Eagles' response? Inbound by Callan West. Adlet working against Alves. Pace out on the ball. And up by Adazun. Loves the mid-range for good reason. He's been very effective there. Wesley working. Jordan trying to navigate through. Alves coming up to push. Wesley for 3. Hits it. 7-point game as we hit 10 minutes left. Wesley on fire in the first half. Quieter in the second. Not playing badly, but quieter though. And a good response from him. Eagles with a couple, and that one's going to slip out of the hands of Anthony Alves. The Eagles hanging on for dear life here, but creating some opportunities to do something. 9:47 left, down 7.
You just can't have that if you're Navajo right now. As Wesley puts a 3 up, not quite there, but the momentum was shifting in West Coast side. You can't give them any more chances than they're already getting.
And it looked like Navajo fell a little bit asleep or just didn't think he was going to pull up right there. And Wesley getting rung up for that one. Only the second foul on the Eagles in this half. Navajo at 5. And so if the Eagles can stay aggressive, there's potentially going to be an opportunity here, as most of the Eagles' main attacking players have not yet picked up too many of their own. It's more the guys that have had to dig in and defend on the wings. Guys like David Goway, guys like Austin Pace, a bit more in trouble there. Navajo with 4 defenders in the backcourt. Let's see if they bring press. The Eagles trying to work this one up pretty quickly. Wesley sees open court in front of him and accelerates. Ethan in the high post. Austin to the side. Jordan for 3. Hits it. 5-point game. Working back into this one are the Eagles. Red House and West bringing it up here.
Big chunk plays here from West Coast. They've been scoring a lot of 3s here in these last few possessions. Not a lot inside.
Good look by Adazun finding Red House, getting inside. Coach Sisson got to be a little bit frustrated. Eagles doing a lot of things well, doing a lot of things right. But when you're down, you have to hold yourself to a really high standard. That miscommunication costly there. Good ball movement. Wesley to Ethan. Pulls up from 2. Gets it to go. Good composure by Ethan. There's been times tonight where it feels like he's been playing 10% faster, 10% outside of himself. Very good control there. Red House now working against Adlet. Can he get inside? Ball tipped as it's away. And the one-handed finish by Talon West of the Skyhawks. Now up 7. Carnes across half court. Pushing it in transition.
West Coast just trying to chip away here. They've been successful offensively here just recently. The 3s, the shots inside, if they can find themselves with some defensive stands, maybe just 2 or 3 defensive stops, that could be the reason for success in this game.
7:56 left, and so as we're under 8, this is going to be the final media timeout of the game. Skyhawks up 7. Eagles at the line for 2. And it's going to be free throws from here on out if the Eagles can stay aggressive and get into the line. And I think you saw Wesley play into that a little bit there. He pulled up for that early 3 a couple possessions back. That felt almost a little more of a function of, hey, if they're going to leave me open, I'm not getting chances like this most of the game. And yet pushing it down inside there, normally he drives more if he sees the defender overplay defense on the 3. But that mindset to just get in and try to attack, something the Eagles are going to be looking for. Braxton Bosher came to the scorer's table towards the start of that media timeout, and so it looks like he's going to be back in this one. It wouldn't be shocking if you saw him play this one out. Averaging about 32 minutes a game. Probably gotten more than 8 minutes of rest already. You're seeing more rotation in a crazy week for the Eagles with 5 games in 6 days. And Wesley going to the line, down 7. Let's see if he can trim this. Rattles the first in. And none of the Eagles players in more significant foul trouble out on the court right now. Coach, kind of that in-between point. You got to make clutch plays, but it's not like the last 2 minutes where you just throw everything you absolutely have out there. Adazun has probably been the best offensive player for the Skyhawks in the second half. Able to keep him away from the hoop there. Now Kane Kenyon to Alves. And Alves, Jordan going up big for that board, and now he's on the run. Getting big, playing physical, something that's been needed there. 7-ish minutes left. Eagles down 5. Braxton looking for a change of defensive assignments. Goes to his left. Ethan and Wesley
Skyhawks basketball.
got it. And Redhouse and Alves in the backcourt. And it's going to be Alves working with the ball here, getting a pick. Kenyon to Redhouse, who's down in fairly good positioning, but maybe a little bit too deep. Wesley's going to get that one. It's 5-on-3 if they can push it. Wesley, 4-3, just a little short on that. From our angle, I think we had probably the exact same angle he did. It looked straight.
Yeah, that depth of field really didn't do us any favors. I was holding my breath, thought it was going to fall, but hit right off the front of the rim.
Wesley almost jumps that one again. Bateman going up for another big board. He's been a little more physical here in the last couple of minutes. It's something that's been good to see. Braxton working around. Adazun now on the move. And a good save there by the Eagles. Braxton, can he get it? Yes, he can. It's a one-possession game as we tick under 6 minutes, 66-63. The Skyhawks on top in this Battle of the Birds so far, but this is as close as it's been in the last 8 minutes or so. And the Eagles fans finding their voice here in the Walther Center. Adazun with a tough fadeaway.
And the Eagles sticking like glue on these last few possessions defensively, trying to establish themselves.
And Bosher, we talked about this a couple possessions ago when it was Wesley doing it. The Eagles looking for a way.
And it seems like Braxton has picked his step back up. He's finding these lanes inside. I don't know if that's necessarily because Navajo's maybe is breaking down defensively, or Braxton is just finding a way inside before Navajo is able to adjust. But he's getting himself inside, very consistent.
It's been a good back and forth battle. In the first half, it was a back and forth battle with runs of like 4 or 5 points, right? Really neither side able to pull away all that much. In the second half, we've had those runs of maybe about 8 points, right? Navajo goes from 2 to 10. Then it's back to 1. Then it's out to 11. Now we're at a 1-point game. Skyhawks holding on to the most narrow of leads. Adazun just keeps on to it. And a whistle there going to be against Ethan.
Ethan trying to make a play there. He nearly did, poked it away, got his hands on a pass, but referee decided that there was a foul there. Too much contact from Ethan, but not necessarily something you're too upset with at this stage in the game.
You got to play good and physical. And the Heisman moment for Brady Ramon. The arm bar coming out. And it is a 1-point game. Braxton working his Alves with 4. He won it in right away. He's got it. It's a 1-point lead, and the crowd is going nuts here in the Walther Center.
And there's that lane I was talking about. It forces a timeout from Navajo. Braxton just establishing himself as a problem, something that needs to be addressed in this timeout. He was in the paint before Navajo even had an opportunity to look his way.
And the Eagles needed that shot of momentum going into the last 5 minutes. You don't want to have to dig out of a hole in the last 5. You want to have gotten there, and now it's time to execute. Walking off the court, Austin Pace on 4 fouls. First guy out to greet the team, bringing that energy, keeping it high. Wesley walking off, had that grin, right? He hasn't been bombing away from 3 this half, but they're making the plays as a team that they need to. Ethan right in the middle of the huddle. Trevor Hampton, the senior, chatting up the teammates, helping them keep that energy high. Coach Sisson coaching up Wesley. Coach Hanna coaching up Wesley. Everyone with a role to play. David Goe getting ready to check into this game. This is going to be a close one.
And with David Goe and Austin Pace finding their way into the game now, 4:49 left to play. You got to think Coach Sisson is letting them play high intensity. Leave it all out on the court now. You got 4 fouls, not much time left. Put your heart out there. If you foul out, you foul out. I got guys here who are going to back you up and take us home.
And especially after those pretty strong bench minutes early in this half, Coach Sisson feeling confident, I'm sure, that he can throw wrinkles, he can throw change-ups at the Skyhawks, giving them something different to prep for. The next foul going to push the Eagles into the territory where they're getting 2 guaranteed shots each trip to the line. Goe right up on Alves. This is a good matchup here. Now Adazun against Bosher. Kenyon looking for those back cuts. He's been successful so far. Will he find them again? Adazun for 3. Wesley steps out a little late to contest, but rushing out helps force the miss. Eagles up 1 with the ball. I don't think we've been in a position like this for a while. And just past the fingertips of David. And this is going to be a battle here. 4:18 left, 1-point game. Goe getting right up on Alves. Carnes right up on Red House.
They're trying to give Navajo a taste of that full court press. 20 seconds on the shot clock. They're really just breaking down their ability to run a play.
Adazun in the mid-range. He loves that. David cleaning up a little bit of a rough miss. Not Adazun's best after he's been so good for much of tonight. Bosher against the freshman Red House to the corner for a 3. Oh, so close, and yet Carnes comes down with it. It's an adventure to the rim. Jordan pulls up a little bit out. Carnes again. And it was on the border between jump ball and foul call. And the referee walking over this direction, showing contact to the head. And so it looked like he just about got all ball.
Big there from Wesley, though. I mean, 2 offensive rebounds back-to-back for Wesley. He's not an inside presence. We have shown that not only in the set sheet, but his play style. But he finds himself in an opportunity to make a play, and he doesn't hesitate. He draws a foul as well. He's going to put himself on the line, and he's going to try and extend the lead.
And a big game from him. Wesley probably been the headliner, at least statistically, so far this game. Puts home the first 2-point lead. Can he get it to 3? But the other Eagles looking for that kind of knockout 3-pointer, and they had good looks. It's not bad shots, but you need someone to get in and make gritty plays as well, and it's the freshman guard finding a way to do that. But Alves coming on up. Navajo has always had an answer. It's been a good game. And the reach in that they're going to see on Bateman, I think that's just his second. And Navajo Tech calling a timeout, down 2, 3:23 left. Great heart by both sides. It's easy to look at, oh, the Eagles have been the ones that fought back from 11 points down. Now they're 2 up. You know, they must have just outworked Navajo Tech. And I think Coach Sisson is going to be proud of the effort that every single one of those guys put in. But the Skyhawks certainly not falling asleep at the wheel or anything like that. The Eagles have had to grind their way back through a tough Skyhawks performance. 3:23. You got to get a stop. But when we get the ball back, what do you want to see, Blake? What's the play that you're drawing up if you were going to do that here?
I'm putting the ball in the hands of Wesley Carnes right now. Maybe starting off with Braxton, testing the waters there. He's been driving in successfully, but Wesley has just been having a killer game. He's been having a killer stretch. Consistency for him has just been astronomical.
And this one comes up to Audazun Delaney with some tough defense on him. Audazun in the post, shorts it. Bateman comes down with the board. That's what you want to see. Wesley now letting the guys go past him. And Delaney gets it, starts calling out positions. Braxton on the run, working against Alves. And it looked like as the pass was coming out, it kind of caught in his hand for just a moment. And that one's going to send it back Skyhawk direction. 3:01 left. It's Kenyon coming back for it, but then Ramon Goe gets it. Can he hold it? And David thought he'd danced the line, but it's going to stay Navajo's direction. Alves on the run, bobbled by Tyvon Kelly, and now it's going to be reset. Ramon Kelly for 3, no, 6. And Audazun been carrying a lot of weight on offense. Braxton here goes. It's over. It's in. Eagles with the first 2 possession lead in 30 minutes or so of game time. Down 2 at the half and immediately got out of hand from there. The Eagles loving this. And we talked about Austin, first to meet the team he is again, but just about everyone coming out, supporting their guys, cheering them on. Can they finish this one off? 2:18 left. We've seen Braxton taking it inside. There he missed, but Jordan Bateman coming in for the board for the finish. We talked about Wesley Carnes, one of the shorter players in the regular rotation for the Eagles. Big offensive boards. Now it's Jordan Bateman using that height on both ends of the court. And the Eagles not through, but certainly in a better position than we might have thought they would be about half an hour ago from our side.
Right, I mean, coming out of that half, West Coast was down 4. They were fighting back and forth a little bit there, got it within 2, and then there was just a breakdown offensively and defensively. They lost the lead, getting to a point where they were down by 12, and now they've clawed their way back, sitting with a 4-point lead, and now they've got to keep the foot on the gas pedal. Jordan Bateman has been struggling getting shots to fall thus far, not due to a lack of shooting necessarily, just doesn't have his stroke from beyond the arc or inside either. He's establishing himself instead as a rebounder. He towers over everybody in this game thus far. We've seen him down on our side getting some big rebounds. Just now with the putback, it's been big for him establishing himself inside and being effective where he can.
And he's stepped out and hit some threes here in this half. But we saw last game his 3 points get a little bit away from him. He went 0 for 7. Here, stepping out, taking him when it's right, digging in for it as well. And a tough contest there. Ethan gets rung up for that one. Almost looked like it was going to go down for the and one, and yet rolled out.
Number 24, Anthony
And
Alves.
the Eagles holding on to a 4-point lead. We've got Anthony Alves coming to the line. A freshman, really a freshman-heavy team in some ways. You've got guys like Kenyon that are seniors. And Alves got the crowd's hopes up there after it hit the rim a couple of times.
Yeah, West Coast fans here really offering him his support in some ways, letting them know exactly where they are on the court while he's trying to take that free throw.
Braxton and Wesley, a little bit different wrinkle on the press. Came up hard all the way in full court and backed off a little bit. We're under 2 minutes now. Eagles up 2. Bosher, Alves gets inside, goes to his left, and the contact on his right hand as he extended up for that one. And it looked like he might have almost put too much, maybe like spin on it or something, but you could see his right hand move over as the shot was being rolled.
I think the contact there was a really big emphasis there. You don't really see Braxton miss very many finger rolls like that. Navajo is going to have to make a defensive adjustment, I think, as Braxton is just finding his way inside as if there was a red carpet there almost. They're going to have to start congesting, maybe switch to his own defense, but right now the way Braxton is playing, I'm not even sure if that's going to be able to stop him.
Can we get it to a 2-possession game is going to be huge. That changes the way that you defend. It changes the way that you operate. Braxton puts it down and giving them a little bit of flexibility here. Ramon working his way across half court, gets past Braxton, over to Otazun, looked at it for 3. And this one's been a battle of free throws in the last couple of trips down the floor. Delaney been able to keep himself pretty clean until he's picked up 2 on the last 2 possessions. But that's why kind of some of Coach Sisson's rotations, getting Ethan some time on the bench while David and Austin were defending on the wings. Can Quinn hit from the line? First one goes down smooth. 1-possession game as is. Eagles have to be committed to rebounding here. We've called out some of their offensive boards. You know that the Skyhawks want to do the same, though. No opportunity there as both are hit. Bosher now with 2 in his face. Over to Carnes. That's a good one. And Braxton working with 18 on the clock. Going against Alves. Puts it up and in. That's a tough finish. And 4-point game, 80 seconds.
Braxton firing up the crowd now. You can hear everybody getting into it whenever he scores. They want the team to win. They're willing them all the way home now.
Barnes defending. It's into the corner. Kenyon steps inside. Now it's going to come outside. Otazun thinks about it. It's the second time on as many possessions as he had a potential 3. And through a thicket of arms, the Eagles hoping to dig in and defend there. That one's going to get rung up against Jordan, his third. 57 seconds. And it's been Braxton going inside on one side. It's been gritty defense that's ended up with the Skyhawks shooting. Misses the first. It'll at least be a 3-point margin if the Eagles can come down with the board. Alves coming to the sideline with number 13, Dontrell Denetso. Coming in cold. Will he be an X factor? He doesn't have time to warm up. Let's see. Both miss. Braxton board. And Coach Sisson immediately with the timeout. The crowd's voice a part of this one. Brady Ramon able to get the foul by a tough, courageous even drive. But you've got to be able to run hot and cold. You've got to put your head down and go. And then you got to go to the line and tune everything out and convert. Did the first, not the second. Eagles ball up 4 with 56 left.
And that trip there was huge for Navajo. You almost feel like they needed to hit those shots now. It's a 2-possession game barring a 4-point play, but I mean, honestly, how often do we see that? Not often, to answer my own question there. But if West Coast is successful in their offensive possession, you got to think that they're going to try and slow it down, take as much time off the clock. If they play their cards right, they could only give Navajo 1 more possession here, and if they score on their next possession, that could do all but put the game away.
And I think we're on the same page here, right? You're anticipating. I was going to say, you know what? If you feel like you've got a little bit of space, you push the gas and hope you can convert and really push it out to 6 and change the tenor even of these last couple moments? Or do you pass everything up except for just the most wide open shot and try to bleed it down?
I mean, right now, I wouldn't even take a 3, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't want to risk that not falling. If I have a wide open lane, an easy layup, make this a 6-point game, I'm taking that all day. But there's going to be no difference between a 4 and a 7 or 6 and a 7-point lead right now. So I'm going to stay away from the 3, and I would rather just drain that clock if given the opportunity.
Navajo bringing 3 into the backcourt. Not something we've seen, but it's been a man press here. And Ramon and Delaney. And the refs sorting out what they saw there. 50.4 left. Eagles up 4. We'll see the ref's decision on this.
Foul number 3, Delaney. Also foul number 11, Ramon.
And we're seeing a foul
Eagles
called
retain possession.
in both directions. And so I guess they're just kind of playing this one out. Ramon now comes down with it. I don't know if this is his ball don't lie moment or what. Adazun with Goe in his face, not comfortable pulling up for 3. Goe gets it!
Go, Goe!
He's away! He got
Yes,
it!
Goe!
There it is! And Goe with the play of his night! Ramon is running down the court. It's down. And this one is going to end up with a foul call, and Tyvon Kelly
That
is
puts
going to
what
head to the line. But this is a 6-point, and after this one, the shot clock is off. It's going to be a succession of free throws. It's looking like from the Eagles' sides of things. Alves and Redhouse getting ready to check into the game. Kelly with the crowd roaring and stomping, and he misses the first.
and the crowd is letting him know as well. The student section, everybody here on their feet, letting them know what's happening.
And Navajo didn't have too many of their guys coming up to the line on the first one. Here we are on the second, though.
I would be looking for an intentional miss here, maybe.
And hits the first. It's going to be an immediate substitution after that. And Braxton, the best free throw shooter on the team, at least by percentage, but he's going to be the one on the baseline now, looking for his passing. And Braxton gets away with the timeout here, 28.2. We'll see if Coach Sisson leaves Braxton as the inbounds man, or if they look for him as the guy that can try to close this one out with free throws. An interesting wrinkle there, potentially even catching Navajo off their guard. They've pressed a little differently when Braxton's been in the game versus out. But 28.2 left, Eagles by 5. A team effort in getting us here, but David Goe's strip, steal, scoop, and score, keeping this a 2-possession game in the late moments.
And that was big from Goe. Just a monster play. We were just unsuccessful on the inbound there. It was giving Navajo a glimpse of victory if they were able to convert on that possession. Goe shut it down. Just any chance they could have had, showing his defensive prowess. He's been like that all season.
And Coach Sisson calling into Braxton that he can run along the baseline. We're going to see this here. Finds the opening. Bateman gets it. Gets 1.8 off the clock. But Braxton able to just kind of slide down, find him. And Jordan's going to go to the line. A chance to extend this to a 3-possession lead with 26-4. If nothing else, the Skyhawks, not a team that really makes their living from outside. We called this out in the first half. 13 of 17 from inside, 3 of 11 from outside. Jordan goes to the line. 1 of 1 so far. Adazun coming in. And if you are the Eagles, do you try to get up, press, slow them down on their way back up the court, or do you just dig in from the half court?
I mean, right now, up by 6, you're just going to try and do whatever you can defensively. You know they're going to be fouling you. You know you're going to be getting your points back anyways on the other end.
Ramon too deep. Bateman gets it down to the court with the ball, and with 13.5, it's a 6-point game, and he's going to try to finish this one off.
If he can hit both these here, it'll make it an 8-point game, 13-5 remaining. I don't think there's any way you can score 8 points in 13 and a half seconds. That's just almost no time.
Jordan splashes the first. We saw the Eagles on that last Skyhawks trip down the floor trying to get up, get players in the way, and they want to slow any progress as much as possible. Bateman hits the second. This might just about do it here. It's Goe on Alves, Red House in the double. Goe tips it away. This one's going to go to Adazun, who pulls up, buries it with 4.5, and the Eagles fans breaking out a belated "I believe that we will win" cheer. I'm not going to say anything about their faith, but it is easier to see that with 4.5 seconds left. But what I will say about them is that it's been a great atmosphere in here when the guys on the court needed that noise, needed that volume, needed that support. It's been great effort, even from the stands, in cheering their Eagles on.
Just a great turnout tonight as well. College days, just the environment around campus, everybody excited, looking forward to the game today. It's a Friday night. Where else would you rather be?
And we've got a lot of students here that are not feeling the call of homework, let's just say. But hey, at 9:51 p.m., are you at your freshest? Frankly, for an 18-year-old, maybe yes, right? This might be the moment that they've been waiting for. But if nothing else, they'll have some time because this crowd is hyped, it's energetic. I don't think anyone's going to sleep imminently after this one. And 4.5 left. Quinn Adazun making the three to make things a little more interesting here. All 5 players from both sides are down here. And Goe breaks free. Braxton gets it to him. Immediately fouled. I think only, 0.8 coming off the clock. But all you got to do is get it in and go to the line.
David Goe is going to be looking for some free points here. If he can convert these, it'll be really a good way to end the game for him. He's had a couple of shots fall. Great defensive presence as always. Just looking for a cherry on top now.
Both sides with a timeout left. And so if you are the Eagles after this possession, really no matter what, you're going to want to dig in for it. This one's probably all but decided. But sports has shown us that you don't want to be too bold until you see all zeros on the clock. Goe splashes both. Clutch on the defensive end with the steal. Good finishing there. Adazun, he's just hit from 3. Can he do it again? A little short, and that's going to be final in the Walther Center. 81-74, the Eagles and the Skyhawks. And I don't know that I've seen the Eagles rush the court before. We are really hyped about this regular season game, but it's a great team performance, and you're really pumped to see this kind of spirit, this kind of excitement. And both sides, a lot of respect for each other. You can tell they're both doing a great job. They both fought hard all the way through this game. And the Eagles, with the second half comeback, only down 2 at the break, but it got down to 11. And after that point, the Eagles leading the rest of the way by 18 to get the final score. Eagles 81. Skyhawks 74. In the first half, it was Wesley Carnes flame-throwing from the perimeter to keep the Eagles in it. In the second half, it was the bench mob that soaked up some early minutes and traded punches, fortunately just metaphorically, with the Skyhawks. And it was the starters who finished the job over the last couple of minutes to get the Eagles out of here with the win. And so a lot of different game states, a lot of different sorts of things going on in this one. But the Eagles walking away victorious. Great effort from both sides. We're getting the stats printed off right now. We'll shout out a couple of players to look at here in this one. But we appreciate, especially for any of our East Coast friends and family, it's been great to have you here. Braxton Bosher with 10 second half points. Wesley Carnes with 10 second half points. Jordan Bateman with 11 second half points. David Goey with 8 second half points. And so Wesley leading the way with 27, 8 of 17 from the field, 6 of 12 from outside, chipping in 5 boards as well. Bosher with 17 points, 6 assists. Bateman going from 4 and 2 in the first half, 13 and 6 in the second half. And really everyone stepping up in this one. Great to see Eagles side of things. 50% from the field in the first half, 48% in the second half.